capacitor called as bypass capacitor. Okay, so this bypass capacitor gets connected right across the emitter resistor RE. Okay, so let's call this capacitor as CE. In order to explain you the role of bypass capacitor, what I will do is I will recreate this particular circuit scenario. Okay, what I will do, I will redraw this particular circuit. Okay, all right. So this is my emitter terminal. Okay, and let me draw the emitter resistor. Am I audible, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, fine. So this is your emitter resistor RE, right? Across which you are going to connect the bypass capacitor. See, okay. Now, imagine the case of DC signal, right? So let's say you have DC emitter current flowing in. Okay, let me write it very clearly that capital I, capital E stands for DC current. Okay, so this is your biasing current. All right. So when the DC current, comes at the emitter node E, okay, it will have two paths. Okay, it can either flow through this, or the DC current can flow through this. Okay, it can even split up and flow into two paths. Okay, now the capacitor path is called as the bypass path. Okay, it is called as the bypass path. Now the question is whether a part of DC current is it going to flow through the capacitor? Okay, whether a part of DC current IE will be able to flow through the capacitor. What is the answer? No, the DC current, okay, DC current cannot flow through CE because of the known reasons, right? You know that XC is inversely proportional to frequency. So frequency of DC is 0 hertz. Okay, so for DC frequency is 0. So obviously the capacitor offers infinite reactance. So for DC circuit, this particular equivalent circuit, this particular circuit can be drawn something like this. So this is your emitter node, and this is your emitter resistor RE. Okay, and this is how the emitter current flows. Okay, on the other hand, the capacitor needs to be treated like an open circuit element. Is it clear? Can I quickly get a yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, fine. So this IE, okay, in bracket, let me write DC current, okay, is required for biasing conditions only. Required for biasing condition only. Okay, because it is not useful in amplifying the signal, because amplification is the contribution of AC signal. All right, so it needs biasing because you need to have a Q point which is centered at the load line. So that is taken care by the emitter current IE and the constituents of emitter current, which are base and collector current. Okay, so this is for DC scenario. Let me write DC scene. Okay, now let us see what will happen when there is a flow of AC current. Okay, so AC scene, let us call. Okay, all right. Now let me redraw the same circuit. You have an emitter resistor RE, and across emitter resistor you have your bypass capacitor CE. Okay, so this is your CE. Let me just okay. Now let me call this as RMS value of AC current. Okay, so capital I small e is equal to RMS value of instantaneous current small I small e. Okay, okay. Now we have considered an AC current, getting into the emitter terminal. Now, as you know that this current can flow through this part as well as this path. Okay. Now the question over here is that which path the AC current prefers, through emitter resistance path or through capacitor path. The AC current always chooses, okay, so AC current, okay, chooses least resistance path. Okay, I mean, in general, even DC current chooses the least resistance path, but the problem is for DC current, the capacitor going to be the highest resistance path. Hence, the flow of current is obstructed in case of DC. Okay. On the other hand, for AC, what happens is that the reactance offered by XCE is less than the resistance value RE. Okay. Since XCE is less than RE, okay, XCE is less than RE, what happens is that capacitor behaves like a short circuit. So the capacitor is going to behave like a short circuit. Hence, this is what the circuit looks like for an AC signal. AC signal. Okay, this is short circuit. So what happens? Your entire AC current flows through. Okay, so this is your incoming AC current, and this is your outgoing AC current. So current component through RE is 0 ampere. So what will happen? Your AC emitter current gets bypassed through the capacitor branch. That's the reason it is called as bypass capacitor. Okay, bypass capacitor. Now the function of bypass capacitor is to provide a bypass path for AC current. So what happens is that since AC is flowing through the bypass path, okay, the drop across RE becomes 0. So voltage drop across RE is 0 volt. Okay, therefore a very high output voltage is obtained. Okay, so this is the conclusion. So in the presence of bypass capacitor C, against AC current, the bypass capacitor offers 0 reactance path. Hence, the AC signal is safely bypassed through the least resistance path, and due to which the voltage drop across the emitter resistor becomes 0. Okay, and this will ensure very high output voltage appear across collector to ground terminal. So if there is bypass capacitor, you will have a very high output voltage, or in other words you can say high voltage gain. Okay, so with C, voltage gain is high. Without C, voltage gain is low. I can demonstrate this. Okay, so what I will do in the next lab, it is not possible because DSD we are going to do. Maybe week after that, I will demonstrate this particular experiment in lab. Okay, I'll show you the recording proceeding. Okay, all right. So did you understand the role of bypass capacitor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let us go to the circuit analysis. Okay, fine. So what you have to do in the analysis part, you have to short circuit all the capacitors. Okay, because analysis is purely AC type, right? Okay, so when we short circuit, what will happen to your voltage divider bias circuit? Okay, so this is your RE. Okay, across RE, you have had the bypass capacitor, right? So that capacitor needs to be short circuited. Okay, and here you have RC and VCC is grounded. Okay, and then you have R2, the other end is also grounded, and on the top side you have R1. Okay, even the other end of R1 needs to be grounded. Okay, so this is your base terminal. Okay, between base and ground, input is fed. Okay, remember your input coupling capacitor CI is also grounded. Okay, this is the location of C, which is short circuited. Okay, not grounded. I'm sorry, this is short circuited. And then you have your output coupling capacitor C0. We are going to replace it with a short circuit equivalent. Okay, and this is where you are going to measure your output. Okay, so this is your equivalent circuit. Okay, for AC analysis. So what we have done is we have isolated DC conditions for AC analysis. All right. Now, in the next step, we can have a very clear RE model of the voltage divider bias amplifier circuit. All right. So I have a collector terminal here and I have an emitter terminal here. Okay. Now you tell me, can anyone tell me what will I do with this particular circuit? I mean, how would I represent this parallel combination of RE and C? I'm going to represent this parallel combination of RE and C with a short circuit. Okay, that's because resistor RE is getting short circuited through C. So that is nothing but a straight piece of wire, connected to ground. So effectively, due to bypassing, your emitter will be at ground potential. Okay, so there is no role of RE for AC analysis. So RE is as good as the short circuit element. Okay, so taking that into consideration, let me redraw the RE model for voltage divider bias amplifier. Okay, so here is my base terminal. Okay, so let me insert the RE model component first. This is my beta RE. Okay, and on the output side, I have my collector terminal. So I'm going to represent controlled current source, beta IB. Okay, so this beta IB is nothing but IC. Okay, that is also grounded. Okay, done. And on the input side, okay, to the base terminal, what is connected? R1 is connected and R2 is connected. As you can clearly observe that opposite ends of R1 and R2 is being grounded. So basically you will have a parallel combination of R1 and R2 connected to ground. Okay, what I can do, everything I can connect it to ground. Okay, and then finally to the base terminal, we have connected an input. So that can be shown something like this. Okay, so this is my ground terminal. So this is where we are going to feed our input signal. All right. And similarly, let's pay our attention to the output side. As you know that there is no emitter resistor. Okay, so this emitter terminal can be rested at the ground potential directly. And on the collector side, we have RC. So let's connect RC. Okay, and other end of RC is grounded. So let's directly connect it to ground. Okay, and output voltage is observed from these two, across these two nodes, minus and plus. That's it. That's your RE model. Okay, now what you have to do, you have to, estimate the performance parameters, as in ZI, input impedance as seen from the input terminal, Z0, which is nothing but the output impedance as seen from the output node. Okay, and okay, let's mark the direction of standard currents. There are two-port network currents, I0 and II. Okay, we will also mark the transistor current, IB. Okay, and IC I have already marked. Okay, fine then. Let's find the first performance parameter, ZI. Okay, by definition, what is ZI? ZI is input voltage, ratio of input voltage to input current. Okay, so you can, estimate ZI with observation itself. Across base and ground, what do you see when you look into the network? across base and ground, you see that the three resistors are connected in parallel, right? R1, R2, and beta R. So basically, your Zi is going to be the parallel combination of R1, R2, and beta R. So that's your Zi. As simple as that. Next, let's go to Z0. So Z0, by definition, voltage to current ratio, right? Or by inspection method, you can also say that Z0 is equal to RC, okay? Right, because across the output port or output, terminal, that is collector and ground, you find that RC is connected. Hence, your output impedance becomes RC. Okay. If R0 is counted, then Z0 going to be R0 parallel with RC. Okay. And you know, right, what is R0? R0 will be the internal transistor output impedance of RE model. In dotted line, let me place that R0. Okay. If given, then only you consider. If not given, please assume it as infinite ohms. Okay, and that's because the normal range for R0 varies somewhere between 40 kilo ohms to 50 kilo ohms. That's a very high resistance value when compared with RC value. All right, so that's your Z0. Okay, so moving forward, let's take up the voltage gain, AV. So what is voltage gain? By definition, voltage gain is ratio of output voltage to input voltage. All right, so what do we have against output voltage? So output voltage is negative I0 into Z0, right? Negative I0 into Z0. I think I have told you why I'm putting this negative sign, right? I have taken the polarity of output as upper side positive and lower side negative. On the other hand, as per two-port network topology, we assume, the inward current. So this inward current, okay, that means to say this is how the current flows, okay, along with the arrow direction. So, when the current flows in this direction, the potential appears in flipped manner. So that's the reason I'm writing, V0 as minus I0 into Z0, okay, because the polarity is opposite to what we have assumed. Okay, all right, so that is equal to, okay, I0. I0 is nothing but IC here. So you can directly write minus IC into Z0. So Z0 we have already found, right? So that's RC. Okay, we'll neglect the effect of R0, doesn't matter. Okay, then comes VI. So by definition, VI is, II by II into Zi, okay? Or I can also say that, see, this VI will also, come across base and ground because it's a parallel connection measuring VI across R1 or across R2 or across beta RE going to be the same. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure VI across beta RE so that I will be able to take the current through beta RE as IB. All right. So what I will do, I will take VI as IB into Zi, or let me take it as beta RE. Okay, beta RE. Okay, voltage minus plus. So VI is equal to IB into beta RE. So that I will be able to get the ratio IC by IB. That's all. Okay. So AV is equal to minus IC into RC divided by IB into beta RE. So IC by IB ratio, it's a well-known ratio for common emitter configuration, which is negative beta, okay, because negative sign is already present. So beta into RC divided by beta RE. So beta gets cancelled. So you will be left with AV is equal to negative RC by RE. Okay, RC by RE. Fine. So that's your voltage gain. Current gain, finally, we need to estimate. Current gain is I0 by II. All right. So that implies I0 is equal to minus V naught by Z naught. Okay, from the previous expression you can obtain the expression for current, and I can be written as VI by ZI. Doesn't matter because ZI is already present over there. So therefore, current gain AI is equal to I naught. Okay, what do we have against I naught? We have negative V naught by Z naught divided by I. So ZI by VI. So we have this ratio V naught by VI. So V naught by VI ratio is, it is minus RC by RA. Okay, or it is AV, right? So you can write down this as AV into ZI divided by Z naught. So that's your current gain, right? Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So shall we consider a complex case of voltage divider by a circuit?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, Zi is R1 parallel to R2 and that is parallel to beta times Re. But when we are
Right.
considering AV, that is voltage gain, we are just taking it as beta times Re, sir.
Yeah.
Right.
That's because, yeah. Okay, you want to know the reason, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, actually, you see, I can take V naught as, okay, let me write it over here. It is, yeah, minus IC by RC. Okay, what I'll do, I'll write it in different color so that you'll be able to distinguish. Okay, so this becomes numerator, no doubt, right? Minus IC into RC. Okay, in the denominator, let's say instead of taking, IB into beta RE, I'll take II into ZI. II into ZI. Now, if I take this, what will happen is, I don't know the gain. I mean, IC by II, we don't know. So IC by II, is an unknown gain because for a common emitter mode, IC by IB is defined, but IC by II is defined. So in order to avoid, that kind of bottleneck, what I have done is I have considered the known current because as per, circuit analysis, VI is II into ZI, or, VI can also be given as IB into beta. That's all.
Sir, my doubt is that why are we not considering R1 and R2, sir?
Okay, that's because you see, through beta RA, which current flows? IB flows. This current IB will not flow through R2 and R1. So I cannot consider R1 and R2 because current flow through R1 and R2 is something else only, right? See, this current II is, say, IR1. Okay, IR1 flows something like this, and again there will be a split. So this, let's say, IR2, and then there will also be another split, which is IB. So it is something like this. One current enters. Okay, this is your II, and then you have R1, then you have R2, and then you have beta RE. So this is beta RE, this is R2, and this is R1. Current through R1 is IR1, current through R2 is IR2, and current through beta RE is IB. Okay. However, the voltage across all these resistors is VI. Voltage across R1 is also VI. Voltage across R2 is also VI. Voltage across beta RE is also VI. But if I take beta RE into consideration, what I will get is IB. If I get IB, while dividing the two currents, okay, that is output to input current, okay, I'll get IC by IB ratio. So that gives me beta value. That's the reason I have taken it.
Yes, sir, I got it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Fine. All right. Now let's go for, okay, yeah. This is called as, 1 minute. Okay. Voltage divider by 7. Let me just write with bypass capacitor. With bypass capacitor. Okay. remember one thing, I have already told you, bypass capacitor will help you in achieving very high voltage gain. Okay, let us see what happens if you don't go for a bypass capacitor. Okay, so well, let us write in short. Let me write voltage divider bias amplifier without bypass capacitor. Okay, let's see what will happen. Okay, so let me quickly redraw the circuit. This is my emitter. RE, no capacitor connected. Okay, observe that across emitter I haven't connected any capacitor. RC, R1, R2. Okay, let me directly connect it to ground. And these two ends let me connect together and let me connect it to VCC. Okay, I have my output capacitor on the output side and an input capacitor on the input side. Okay, so this is my input and this is my output measured across one of the capacitor terminal and the ground node. Okay, so this is my voltage divider bias amplifier without bypass capacitor. That means to say there is no bypass capacitor present. All right, so let's apply what do you say, the steps to obtain the RE model. So what you need to do, you need to short circuit all capacitors and ground VCC. Okay, so you short circuit all the capacitors and you ground VCC. Okay, I will not draw the equivalent circuit because I think by now you must have understood how exactly you connect the other ends of R1 and RC to ground, because VCC will be at ground potential and this CI and C0 will be replaced with straight wire or short circuit equivalents. Okay, now when I include all those steps, okay, the circuit what I'm going to get is this. Let me redraw the circuit. So first let me draw the input port B. Okay, so I have beta RE. Okay, and then on the output side, my collector terminal I will be having, and I will be having my controlled source beta IB. Okay, I'll not do anything here. You have to tell me what I should do over here, and then let me draw the rest of the circuitry. Okay, so R2 and R1 will have the parallel connection. So let me write it something like this. This is R1. This is R2. Okay, R1 and R2. And this is where I connect my input. That is base terminal and across the ground terminal. Okay, and on the output side, I will have my collector resistor RC, and the other end of RC will be at ground potential. Okay, what about the emitter terminal? Can anyone tell me what will I do with the emitter terminal now? Can I directly place the emitter terminal to ground? Can I connect the emitter terminal to ground? Is this grounded? Is this emitter terminal is connected to ground? No, right? This emitter terminal is connected to ground through RE. And RE cannot be ignored because there is no short circuit created by the bypass capacitor. So what happens over here is that what you have to do is, okay, let me just shorten this. Yeah, so what will happen is you will have to connect these two. Okay, and then you need to connect these two to emitter. Okay, remember in the previous case this emitter was at ground potential. Now this emitter will not be at ground potential. Instead, this emitter is connected in series with RE, and the other end of RE will be held, kept at ground potential. So this is the equivalent circuit. Did you understand? Please tell me. Did you understand this step or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, clear, right? Okay. So this is the meaning of, bypass capacitor and unbypassed capacitor. The same analysis holds good for emitter bias circuit also. Okay, the only difference between voltage divider bias circuit and emitter bias circuit is that you will not have R2 resistor in emitter bias circuit. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, fine. Now let me mark different currents here. Okay, I need to have your undivided attention here, or else you may lose me in between. Okay, so please follow very, very carefully. Mark the current directions. Okay, this is very important for this type of analysis. So this is IV, all right, and through this, which current flows? IC flows, and through emitter, current IE flows. All right, there are 3 currents now. Okay, we'll mark the standard 2-port network currents also, II and I0. Okay, and remember, this current I0 will produce, V0 with opposite polarity. So obviously, when we write an expression for V0, we are going to write it as negative I0 into Z0. All right, fine. So now let us estimate the input impedance, output impedance, etc., etc. This is Zi, okay, and this is Z0, okay, Zi and Z0. Okay. So first, let us take a input impedance Zi. By definition, Zi can be found with the rate by taking the ratio Vi by Ii, but we are not going to do that way, right? We are going to consider straightforward or inspection approach. So what is Zi? Can anyone tell me? R2 parallel with R1. That is correct. What about these 2 resistors? On the input side, how these 2 resistors are connected together? Can anyone tell me? What is Zi? That's what I'm trying to ask you. Zi is R1 parallel with R2. Okay, because Zi is nothing but impedance measured from base to ground terminal. So between base and ground, you have R1, you have R2, and you also have beta Re and Re. So how will I put this particular resistance in the blank space? How am I going to write it? Are you getting the point? Are you getting the question? What is the third resistance? In the previous section, that is with bypass capacitor, what we observed is that your emitter was directly held at ground potential, you see here. Okay, hence, you could say that your Zi is nothing but, the resistors which were connected across base and ground. So, across base and ground, you have had R1, R2, and beta Re. Hence, directly you could write R1 parallel with R2 parallel with beta Re. But over here, the case is not similar because at emitter terminal, you have Re. So, how will I write? On the input side, how these 2 are connected? Is it mimicking the series connection? Sort of, it gives sort of series connection, but the problem is that in order to claim that beta Re and capital Re connected in series, you should have the same current flow, right? In case of series circuit, what is the feature? The current flow remains the same in case of series circuit. But over here, the problem is that through beta Re, current IB flows, and through capital Ra, current IE flows. Okay, hence you cannot directly write, it is something like beta Ra plus Re. You cannot write it because this becomes wrong. That's because through beta Re, current IB flows, and through capital Re, current IE flows. So two different currents, and it cannot be a series circuit. So in order to make it as a series circuit, what you have to do is somehow, you need to convert this emitter current IE into some base current. Is it possible? Do we have any relation that relates your emitter current to base current? What is that relation? 1 plus beta.
Beta.
Yeah, exactly. So we know that emitter current is 1 plus beta times IB. So what we will do is, instead of emitter current, okay, instead of emitter current, since it's a video, so you can roll back and you can, observe. So instead of emitter current, what am I going to write? I'm going to write current through RE as 1 plus beta times IB. 1 plus beta times IB. And let me also mark the input voltage across base and ground. Okay, across base and ground. So this, let me keep it as plus, and this let me keep it as minus. Okay, so, and let me apply KVL in this shaded region. Okay, I am creating a shade over here. Let me apply KVL only to the shaded region. Okay, here let me write apply KVL in the shaded region. Okay, so what do I have? Input voltage VI is equal to, drop across the two resistors. So what is the first voltage drop? Can I hear some answers? IB into beta RA plus, what is the drop across second resistor? What is the current flow through capital RA? What is it?
1 plus beta IB.
Yeah, this is the whole product, right? So it is 1 plus beta into IB into capital RA. Yeah, now I can call it a series connection because through both the resistors, current IB flows. So I can claim it as series connection. Hence, I can take VI as IB. Okay, let me keep IB outside the bracket. Okay, so that is beta RE plus 1 plus beta times capital RE. Or let me take the ratio VI by IB and let me define this ratio VI by IB as some base impedance ZB. So ZB going to be beta RE plus 1 plus beta times RE. So what we have done is we have found out an equivalent impedance ZB as seen from the base terminal to the emitter terminal, which is very closer to your RE model elements. Okay, so once you have that, what you can do is that okay, let me erase this. Okay, hope I am not. Okay, let me do it neatly so that you will be able to follow. Okay, so the whole thing now can be replaced with a simple impedance ZB. Okay, this is your base terminal ZB. So by finding out this, now I can redraw my input circuit something like this. This is your R1, this is your R2, and this is your ZB. Okay, this is ground, this is base. So what is my overall input impedance ZI? Can anyone tell me now? So ZI going to be R1 parallel with R2 parallel with ZB, where ZB is equal to the above expression, beta RE plus 1 plus beta times RE. Is it clear? So this is my input impedance. Very, very important. This is my input impedance. Is it clear? Can I get some response over here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Perfect. Fine. So that's your Z. Okay. Next, let us go to Z naught. Z naught. Okay, what is Z naught? By definition, V naught by I naught. Okay, so to find Z naught, what I will do, let me recreate the output circuit. Okay, so this is your beta IB. Okay, let me isolate the input circuit. This is beta IB. Okay, and through, I mean, the current circulated by this current source is IC. Okay, which is beta IB. And okay, this is my collector terminal. Okay, and this then gets connected to the emitter terminal, and emitter will be held at ground potential through emitter resistor RE. Okay. All right. And you have your RC resistor connected here, and this is where you are going to observe your output V0 minus N plus, and this is what you claim your output impedance Z0 as. Okay, now finding out output impedance, it is also easy actually, provided you carefully, you know, observe this particular step. Yeah, fine. Now, to find output impedance, what I will do is, let me consider R0 also. Okay, let me consider this R0. Okay, which is actually very high. That's the reason normally we don't consider in our RA model. Okay, this is very high. Okay. Now, what I will do, okay, through R0, you know, you say that, you know, part of IC flows, let's say IC. Let's say IC. And through RE, emitter current IE flows. But this emitter current IE, you can say that it is, you know, equal to IC itself. So basically, you know, and let us also, you know, claim this particular impedance. Okay, no issues. So I can write V0 is equal to, because across collector and ground, you know, I can still write the voltage as V0. So V0 is equal to, you can just apply KC, KVL here. It is IC into R0 plus, again, IE into, okay, let me write small IE into RE. Or I can write it as IC into R0 plus this IE, I can write it as IC itself, because IC and IE are very close to each other. And this is RE. Okay, so V0 is basically IC times R0 plus, you know, RE, or we'll take the ratio here, V0 by IC ratio, and we will claim it as R0 dash. Okay, so R0 dash is V0 by IC ratio, which is equal to R0 plus RE. R0 plus RE. Okay, so therefore, you know, you can just remodify the circuit something like this. We have found R0 dash between collector terminal and the ground terminal, and let us connect the RC resistor, you know, between collector and ground. Okay, and across this combination, you are going to observe your output, and this will be your output impedance Z0. So what is my output impedance Z0 in this case? So output impedance Z0 is nothing but the impedance measured from collector to ground. So between collector and ground, you have the two resistors, you know, appearing in parallel. So it is going to be R0 dash parallel with RC. Okay, so that is your exact expression. Okay, however, R0 dash is given by R0 plus RE. Okay, and in bracket you can write as R0 is very, very high. Okay, you can right, up to 50 kilo ohm, and you are not expected to remember all this. Okay, since I'm explaining, I'm putting it across. Okay, since R naught is very high, you know, your R naught dash is approximately equal to R naught itself. Okay, R naught itself. Therefore, your Z naught can be, okay, yeah, Z naught can be approximately written as R naught parallel with RC. Okay, or Z naught can be written as RC itself, okay, because R naught will be in the range of several, tens of kilo ohms, and RC will be in the range of few kilo ohms. So when you have, say, tens of kilo ohm resistor, connected across a few kilo ohm resistor, the output impedance going to be, very closer to the few kilo ohm resistance value. On that note, I can say that Z naught is, approximately equal to RC. So that's your output impedance. Okay. So the summary is, if you have understood the analysis, in exam, you don't have to show all this. Okay, you don't have to show all this. So this step I have shown for your experience sake. Okay, in the exam, you can directly write Z naught is measured across collector to ground, and across collector to ground, RC is coming into picture. Hence, Z naught can be given as RC. This, if you write, for me, it is more than enough. Okay, even for external examiner also, it is far. It is enough. Okay, next up we have the voltage gain AV. Okay, so what is voltage gain? V naught by Vi, or minus I naught into Z naught divided by, I'll write it IB into ZB. Okay, IB into ZB. Okay, where V naught is minus I naught into Z naught, which is minus IC into, okay, Z naught. What is Z naught? In the previous step we have seen, right? Z naught is RC. Similarly, Vi, we have written IB into ZB. Okay, again, I'm taking IB because I can take out the ratio IC by IB. I do not want to take the ratio IC by II because II is unknown to me, but IB is known to me. That's the reason. So I'll take IB into ZB, and this can be written as IB into ZB. What is ZB? You remember in the beginning, we have written an expression for ZB. That is beta RE plus 1 plus beta times capital RE. So now let us take out the ratio. Okay. V naught by Vi is equal to negative IC into RC divided by IB into beta RE plus 1 plus beta times capital RE. Okay, or you can take out this ratio IC by IB as beta. Okay, so this is negative beta into RC divided by, what I will do in the denominator is that, let me write down beta RE as it is. So this 1 plus beta is there, right? So this, let me take it as beta, approximation. So beta times RE. By doing so, what I can do is I can slightly, simplify my voltage gain expression. So it is beta into RC in the numerator, and in the denominator it is beta times capital RE plus small re. So this beta gets cancelled, and hence you will get the voltage gain expression as negative RC divided by RE plus small re. So this is my voltage gain expression. Okay, and finally I have my current gain expression. I'll just stop the topic now. So I naught by II. So what is I naught? V naught by Z naught. Okay, into II. II is Vi by Zi. Okay, so division, right? So it goes to the numerator. So Zi by Vi. Okay, so this is negative sign, of course. So you have this ratio, right? V naught by Vi, which is your voltage gain AV. So it is voltage gain times the impedance ratio, Zi by Z naught. So that's your current gain. Okay, all right. I will stop it here. So in the next class, what I will do, I will solve a problem based on bypass capacitor and unbypassed capacitor. Okay.